Cameron, Theo's a little over 1.5 years old now, which means he's talking. And boy, are some of the things he says hilarious and adorable. I've got a few examples. He loves Mickey Mouse, which he calls Bicky Ouse, which results in him walking around the house for a good chunk of the day, either pointing to everything that has a Mickey on it or asking us to put Bicky Ouse on the TV. And then on Sundays in the afternoon after his nap, I usually hang out with him and we watch football, which he calls bootball. So he'll sometimes just ask for a bootball on like a random weeknight. When it's time to put on his coat because we're going outside, he puts a heavy emphasis on the T. So I'll be like, do you want to put on your coat? And he'll go, coat. Milk is ilk, 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 ilk. Snack is ack, ack, ack. And he'll go over to the pantry and point to whatever he wants. Ack. He puts a heavy emphasis on the P in the word apple. Apple. And this morning in the car, he took off his shoe, as he normally does, and I saw that he took it off, and I was like, do you want to put your shoe back on? And he goes, no. Moving on, there is this condition called sudden savant syndrome, which is just as crazy as it sounds. Now, sudden savant syndrome differs from other variations of savant syndrome. Like, congenital savant syndrome is basically like when you exhibit some sort of an extraordinary skill in early childhood. Or acquired savant syndrome, which is basically when you get like an extraordinary skill after something happens, like a stroke or a head injury. But sudden savant syndrome just kind of appears out of the blue, where all of a sudden a person is an absolute genius in like math or art or music with little to no training. Like a person is just out walking around the mall, they see a piano, and all of a sudden they have an urge to sit down at it and play, and they're able to play absolutely beautiful masterpieces on the piano when they didn't have training before. Or like they never really did much art, but all of a sudden had the urge to sit down and draw one day and started just cranking out absolutely amazing artwork. It's super rare, but it almost seems like they just like naturally have the skill. Like they innately have the skill, but it's just buried down in their brain and just came out to play one day. How does sudden savant syndrome differ from just like a person learning a new skill as an adult? Because we all learn how to do new things. So first, the skill has to come out of nowhere with no real prior talent or interest. No disease or injury led to it. Again, that would be the acquired savant syndrome, which is crazy in and of itself. You can get like a head injury and all of a sudden be a math whiz. Not only do they have the new skill, but they have to seem like they mastered it and have deep knowledge about it without ever having learned it. And the skill comes with like an overwhelming desire to do the thing that you didn't have before. Like you just are obsessed with sitting down and drawing now when that was never a thing you would have been doing. But yeah, that's sudden savant syndrome. It's pretty crazy. Oh, it's the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. Last thing for the video today, Cameron, your roommate, that goddamn jelly. Now, I know Ron has an attachment to the jelly and a relationship, but it's important to recognize that this is a toxic relationship. And as such, I have created a petition, it's down in the describe, to have Ron throw away the damn jelly. Now, I know Ron isn't part of this project. It isn't subject to any kind of punishments or challenges or anything like that. But he's been with that jelly for too long, damn it, and it's time for a change. Now, we don't have a large number of subscribers, so getting a ton of signatures on this petition is not going to be realistic. So I think like 10 signatures should be sufficient to have Ron part ways with the jelly and give you the freedom within your apartment to not have a toxic roommate like that elderly jar of Smucker's grape jelly. And so if there's anyone still watching this video, first, thank you. I don't know how you made it all the way to this point, but go to the link down below and sign the petition. Now, I know some of the comments on our previous videos have shown that some of our viewers have a similar connection to the jelly as Ron and enjoy the jelly and would probably like the jelly to stick around. And I understand that sentiment, but you're wrong! This is bad jelly. Old jelly, manipulative and toxic jelly, and it needs to be stopped and it needs to be eliminated. Petition, please help. If you pick a pawpaw or a prickly pear, and you prick a raw paw, next time beware. Don't pick a prickly pear by the paw. If you pick a pear, try to use the claw, but don't try to use the claw if you pick a pear of the big pawpaw.